This story was told to me by someone I know who works at a large city hospital. I won't name the hospital for obvious reasons, it's the only big one in town. And my friend doesn't want to be labeled a lunatic. Here's what he said. I work as an orderly, doing 24-hour shifts every few days with a partner. The job's simple. During the day, we wheel patients around to procedures, surgeries, doctors, x-rays, that kind of stuff. Most are able to sit. Some are bedridden post-op, some from the ICU or palliative care, that's where they mostly just ease the pain for the dying. By the way, palliative comes from the Latin pallium, meaning cloak or covering. Doesn't sound very cheerful, does it? At night and early in the morning, the worst part of the job begins, picking up the dead from the wards, bagging them in black plastic body bags, and hauling them to the small hospital morgue. Well, morgue, it's more like temporary storage. They don't do autopsies there anymore. It's just for holding the bodies. We used to transport them through an underground tunnel, until last year, when a pipe burst and flooded it. Still, hasn't been fixed. It's dangerous now, could collapse any time. The walls and supports got washed out, so they boarded it up. And now, we go outside. People die during the day, sure, but mostly at night or early morning. Some nights, we had up to 10 bodies. It's not fun work, especially when the body's still warm. It's hard to roll them into the bag, like handling a sack of jelly. You can feel the warmth through your gloves. Sometimes it feels like they're just asleep. If all goes well, you won't have nose plugs falling out, or the tied jaw popping open. You don't want formalin and body fluids splashing out. You've got to be quick and dodge it. Cold bodies are easier. They don't even feel human anymore. Just heavy logs. You flip them, slide the bag under, roll them again, pull it through, tuck the head and legs inside, zip it up, done. By night or dawn, the city corpse truck arrives. Depends on our spot in the queue. Sometimes it's packed with bodies too, even 3 rows deep. We help the drivers load the bags, otherwise they might drop one. After that, we're off the hook till the next call. One time, my partner got sick. The boss let him leave after lunch. No calls had come in anyway. That night, I was on my own. Doctors helped with packing. It's not their job. But what could we do? Around 2:30 a.m., I took another body to the morgue. It was an old lady, dried up, and light as styrofoam. Didn't even break a sweat bagging her. I brought her in, lifted her from the gurney onto the cold room table, and something felt off. Couldn't tell what at first. Everything seemed fine, but wrong. Then I realized there should be only 4 bags, including the old lady. But there were 5. I thought, what the hell is this? Some kind of prank? Once, a guy from another shift played a joke. He got drunk, climbed into a body bag, and when the corpse truck arrived, he sat up on the gurney. The driver nearly had a heart attack and ended up in the hospital himself. That joker was fired, of course. But back then, there were 2 orderlies on duty. This time, I was the only one with the morgue key. I felt a chill down my spine. Not from the cold. I walked up quietly to the bag. There's a plastic pocket on it where they put the death paperwork. I looked inside but couldn't read a thing. The handwriting was messy, shaky, like the writer's hand had been trembling violently. Totally illegible. I was about to unzip the bag to check who it was. I remembered every person I'd packed that night. But something stopped me, and then, the bag moved. Like someone turned inside it. I don't remember running out of the cold room, just that the door slammed behind me, and I heard a thud. The bag had fallen off the table. It hit the floor wet and heavy, like jelly. I bolted, reflexes took over. Without thinking, I ran toward the boarded up tunnel. I stood there in front of the planks, frozen, trying to think. Should I go back? Then I heard the morgue door open behind me, the sound of the bag rustling across the floor. I tore off one of the boards. It was barely holding anyway, and slipped into the tunnel. There's been no lighting in there since the flood. They cut the electricity to avoid accidents. So I was walking in pitch black, tripping over God knows what. Suddenly I remembered my phone, turned on the flashlight and nearly screamed. The entire passage was packed with black bags, stacked, piled, lined along the walls. Only a narrow trail in the center where I was walking, and I realized this isn't our tunnel. Ours was square, lined with yellow tiles, ceiling lights, smooth floor. But this was damp stone, moldy, the ceiling an arch, floor made of cracked stone. Pale grass grew through the cracks. The walls were weeping. The bags all had the same plastic windows, same shaky handwriting. I turned back, and I don't know why, but I had to look inside one of them, maybe to prove to myself I wasn't going insane. I knelt down, unzipped one halfway. This light brown, jelly-like fluid oozed out. No smell at all. I pulled the bag open just enough to look. Inside was something vaguely human, but wrong, like a mannequin or some half-finished copy of a person. I couldn't even tell if it was male or female. Almost looked like both, or neither. Then I thought I saw its eyelids twitch. I zipped the bag back up fast and ran. I got back to the morgue. The door was open. The bag was lying right in the doorway. I was going to walk around it, when suddenly heard voices outside. They were speaking Russian, or something like it, but I couldn't make out a single word. One voice was clearly angry, scolding the other. The other one sounded apologetic. I thought, nope, I've had enough weird for one night. I'm hiding. There was a small closet nearby, where the janitor keeps his cleaning stuff. I slipped inside and closed the door. I heard the two of them enter, grab the bag, drag it outside, and toss it into a vehicle. I could hear the springs creak from the weight. Then they came back in, walked toward the boarded-up tunnel, started yelling again, and even banged on the boards. A moment later, I heard a car door slam, an engine start, then silence. Strangely, there were no more calls that night. No one else died, and no one even noticed I was gone. Everyone had their own business. I sat in that closet till sunrise. In the morning, I went back to the morgue with two security guards. I said I thought someone had tried to break in and wanted to check the doors. We unlocked and entered. All four body bags were neatly in place. Inside the cold room, the temperature was freezing, so cold it made my fingers numb. I've never seen it get that cold before, not even with the controls on max. The guards told me no vehicle had come through the hospital gate that night, and the corpse truck was still an hour away. Later, I checked the tunnel. Everything was fine. No bags, no mold, nothing. Weird. Just like always. I've got a couple theories about what happened. First, that bag was meant for pickup, just not by our truck. Maybe from another world. The tunnel was a kind of station, and the bag in the morgue, a passenger trying to get somewhere on its own. For them, it's the first step from the afterlife. For us, it's the first step into it. Maybe those bags are some sort of doorway, a portal between worlds. Something comes through using our morgue as a stopover. Second, those bags were cocoons, birthing chambers for some kind of creatures that look human. That tunnel a maternity ward, sealed off so we wouldn't interfere. And they chose the hospital because it's filled with pain and suffering, fuel for their growth. That's how they're born here. And the two who came? Couriers. They collect the newborns and deliver them where they need to go. It would explain the number of strange people in this world lately. The ones with no empathy, no conscience, just greed and cruelty. They pretend to be human. They fake emotions. They crave status, power, and attention. And those who know the truth, they keep quiet. Since that night, nothing like that has happened again. But every time I go into the cold room, I always count the bags, and I never, ever look into the tunnel.